In this video we are going to create an expert advisor that is able to close open cell positions when the trend changes and we see a crossover. So let's find out how to do that with MQL4. To get started, please click on a little icon here or press F4 on your keyboard. Now you should see the Metaeditor window, and here you want to click on File, New File, Expert Advisor from Template, Continue. I will call this file Simple Cell Crossover Stop, click on Continue, Continue and Finish. Now you can delete everything above the Ontick function and the two command lines here. We start by creating a string variable for the signal. This variable is also called signal, and we don't assign a value here because we are going to calculate it later. The next step is to calculate the small moving average for candle 1. That is done by using the IMA function. For the current symbol on the chart and for the currently selected period on that chart, we want to calculate the IMA for 20 candles. We don't use a shift value here, and because we want to calculate a simple moving average, we are going to use mode_SMA. For an exponential moving average, you could use mode_EMA. The result should be calculated based on the close price for candle 1. The calculation for the big moving average for candle 1 is pretty similar. The only difference is the name for the variable, and we are going to calculate it for 50 candles in this case. Now that we know those values, we can find out if the big moving average one for candle 1 is bigger than the small moving average for candle 1. And if that is the case, that would be a cell signal, so we assign the word cell to our signal. In the other case, if the value for big moving average 1 is below the value for small moving average 1, we would consider that to be a buy signal, and then we would assign the word buy to our signal. And when our signal equals cell and the return value for orders total equals 0, that would mean we have a cell signal and no open orders. And now we use order send to open a test position for 10 microlot. Please keep in mind this is only a test position. We need to open a position so we can check if the moving average cell crossover stop loss is working. But you wouldn't do that on a real account. In the other case, when we have a buy signal and we have open orders, that would mean that orders total is bigger than 0. We want to call a function that is called close cell positions this pair and close all the open cell positions. Let's add a command statement here that will output the text "the current signal is" followed by the calculated signal. And that's it for the Ontick function. But to use this function we need to create it now because it doesn't exist. Our function uses void because we don't need a return value. The name is close cell positions this pair, and we are going to use a for loop to go through all the open positions. We use order select to select the position for the current counter value. Now we want to find out the current currency pair. That is done by using order symbol. And that makes it possible to check if the current symbol on the chart matches the currency pair symbol. We also want to find out if the order type equals OP cell. And if those conditions are true, we use order close for the current order ticket and the current order lot size to close the current position. Finally, we need to close the for loop and the function, and that's about it. If this was too fast for you, or if you have no idea what all the code here does, maybe you want to watch one of the other videos in the basic video series, or maybe even the premium course on our website might be interesting for you. Now we have a link on that website where you can find the source codes for these basic videos. But for now, please click on the compile button or press F7 on your keyboard. You shouldn't get any errors, and if that is the case, you can click on a little button here or press F4 to go back to MetaTrader. And in MetaTrader you want to click on View, Strategy Tester or press Ctrl and R. Please pick the new file simple cell crossoverstop.ex4. Mark the option for the visual mode here and start a test. The first time you start the test you will not see any moving averages, so let's click on Stop. And the moving averages appear on the chart. Now right click into the chart, select Template, Save Template, and save it as tester.tpl, because this is the template that we are going to see in the next strategy test. You can overwrite the current value. Now restart the test. Here we are. You see the moving averages are calculated. And once we have a crossover, we should see that this position will be closed, because that is when the trend changes, and this changes to buy. That should happen in a few seconds. And right now the position was closed, so our little expert advisor is working as expected. And in this little video you have learned how to create a crossover sell stop, and you have coded it yourself with a few lines of MQL4 code.